work in Google. Very few engineers can get into Google. How did you get?
Around the summer of 2021 that I got an email from Google asking me to apply for like one of their early career software engineering positions. And so
Hey, so I'm here with a engineer from...
I'm Clint. I'm a software engineer on Google.
Cool. Okay, and so you work in Google. How did you like do that? Because I think that like very few engineers can get into Google.
Let's see. So I went to the University of Central Florida in Orlando and studied computer science, and that's kind of like how I kind of got into tech in the first place. And maybe to describe like how I got into Google, I'll kind of give like a little bit of background. Oh, also how I met Ray. And so, like I said, I graduated in 2019 with a degree in computer science, and at the time I was working for a research institute called the Institute of Simulation and Training, where I kind of did kind of like military simulation kind of stuff. And when I graduated, had an offer from Citi, which is where met Ray, and as a software engineering position, and started there the following August and worked there for about a year and a half. And I'd say I started at Citi in the August of 2020, and I think it was maybe around the summer of 2021 that I got an email from Google asking me to apply for like one of their early career software engineering positions. And so applied and went through the process. I think something that did kind of help though is because I feel like people are surprised that I was emailed by Google to apply, but I feel like a reason that I might have been emailed is because in the past I had gone to an event called Google Sandbox in Orlando, which is kind of like a networking event that Google had for like smaller cities, I want to say. And I had also there's two other things that they had done. Is they had actually hosted UCF as a programming team, and during one of the programming team competitions or tryouts, Google was actually one of our sponsors. And so they came, and I'm not sure if this actually helped, but they gave out like a goodie bag. I'm just saying everything that like might have helped. There was that, and then there was I had also applied there before in the previous years, and I had missed the cutoff for the software engineering, like the general application for the year that I was graduating. And so they had asked me if I had wanted to apply for the, I think it was like the engineering residency program that they had back then. And I actually did go through the engineering residency interview process, and I did not make it through the process, but I feel like that might have put me on some kind of recruiting list for them. So
yeah, no, that makes sense, right? So you actually previously applied, so you actually sent in your application, which is good, and then you also went to events. Okay.
Yeah, that one closed the day after like I submitted my application. So like in the email it said, look, like it was too late, but would you like to apply to the EngRes one that year? So
okay. So you did that. You had previously applied, so you're already like kind of on the file, and you also went to events too. And put your face there. I think is like good. I think it wouldn't hurt for sure. So okay. So then, what were your interview rounds like? Like, what was the process going from like recruiter actually contacts you to you getting like the actual offer letter?
First, I was contacted by just like a general able, just asking you to apply, and so I applied. I think shortly after I had like a interest call with a recruiter where they kind of it was just kind of like an intro call where they explained the recruiting, they introduced themselves, said the recruiting process, kind of said like what to expect, and honestly we're just very friendly, just asked me if I had any questions. And so after that we went about scheduling a phone interview, and so they kind of asked like what my availability was. I gave it to them. They came back with a date. Sure enough, and they provide some like study materials for a resource for the interview. And I will say that's one thing that I actually think that they're really good about is the interviews are hard, but I do think that the people that I engage with, they really do want you to do well, and they want to give you the tools to do well. And so they were very good at providing like a lot of resources to study and kind of brush up on computer science fundamentals. And I definitely did that. And so did all that. The day of the phone interview comes around. This one was, I want to say, just one question at this time. It was the same thing where you wait around, you get a call, talk to an engineer, they introduce themselves, kind of say what their job is, what they do, and you jump kind of straight into it. They ask you a question, and you respond. And then after that, like if things go well, you'll hear back you'll ask the interviewer if they have any questions, and kind of wrap it up. And you should hear back from the recruiter at some point in time, hopefully fairly soon, like about next steps. And for me, I was moving forward, and so she asked if, like, about basically the same song and dance except for Onsite. And at the time, I was actually interviewing during COVID, and so it was a virtual Onsite. And so they asked my availability, gave me kind of the rundown, and like kind of just went from there. And I think something that helped me is...
It would have been 4 rounds. Typically.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. To describe the phone interview process too. I want to say the phone interview was maybe like a 30 to 45 minute technical phone interview. I want to say, but yeah, and then the on-site was like 4 or 5 rounds, mostly technical, and then one behavioral one. And what I want to say about them is,
was that the hardest test?
Sorry.
Yeah. Was that the hardest test that you ever had to do? Like, I don't know, compared to SAT, compared to exams?
I feel like to describe it is, when I describe the interview process, I describe it as hard but fair. Like, when I left the interviews, like without a doubt, like the interview is hard, but I do think that they provide you the resources to, for the most part, like in most scenarios, because the people there, people want you to succeed. It's just that they want to make sure that the candidates that are applying and being offered positions, there's a strong signal, yes, kind of like a strong signal that you will be able to succeed in this environment. Because I will say that it is at times an intense environment to thrive in. That's the way that I like to say it. But I do think that it was fair, in that I think that everything that you should see, and the things that most interviewers that are going to ask, like you probably have seen before, I do think that a strong foundation in data structures analysis will kind of get you there. And so, because I've met some people who didn't study at all and passed the interview, but these people also were had very strong foundation in data structure analysis to begin with. And so that's how I feel about it. It's hard, but it's fair.
So last question. So what would you, I guess if you could talk to your younger self, or if you could talk to like someone who's black and wants to get into like big tech, or maybe they're thinking about it, maybe because of the AI world, whatever, maybe they're thinking about not doing it at all and not doing computer science. I don't know, I guess like what's your thoughts, what's your advice around that? Or if they want to get into Google, I don't know. Whatever you would recommend if you were going to talk to your younger self like now in this AI world, I don't know.
I would say stay curious, and when you are trying to first be proactive in learning skills, stay curious, stay learning, and I think that be very mindful of what you're learning and how you're learning it. And even when you say things, or like not say things, even when, I guess what I'm trying to say is, while you're learning things, there's going to be times where it's hard. There's going to be times where it's difficult and frustrating, where you might want to take the easier route, or it might seem like you can't. And that's actually probably something that I want to say is, to me, can't is kind of it's kind of a cuss word, in that, like, believe in yourself a bit. What's called like one is to believe in yourself, but 2, be very proactive and serious about your learning. Like if you're really trying to decide what you want to do and figure out how to get there, and be intentional with it. Sometimes there's not any shortcuts, and sometimes it might not seem like you're making the progress that you'd like, but I think sometimes you don't notice the progress that's being made while you're making it until you look behind and realize how far you've come. And don't do things that are going to harm or make your journey a lot harder than it needs to be. Be your own friend, and that's kind of it.
Okay, cool. That's it. All right, nice. Thanks.
Cool. If you guys want to join my school community, where I'll be also posting just additional videos that probably aren't going to make it onto the channel, I think you can feel free to join that. I'll put a link to it in the description. And thanks for watching.